I actually have a little bit of this here. This is a script, and I'm gonna be reading in this script off of this script today because that's what I do. So today's topic is gonna be loving yourself is only possible through knowing yourself. It's kind of like, how can you pick up the rock if you don't know where it is on the floor? So loving yourself is giving attention and energy and care and acceptance to something that you know of, or you know where it is and how to do it. Or yeah, but if you don't know where something is, then how can you give any love to it? You know what I mean? So it's essentially the same thing physically as it is metaphysically in your mind. So there is something to be said about loving yourself. Loving yourself is impossible without knowing yourself, because how can you accept and love what you don't know to? So knowing yourself is core of loving yourself. Again, we're not talking about loving someone else. We're talking about loving yourself. I'm going to repeat what I just read a little bit above that. I said knowing yourself is the core of loving yourself. And that's the title of this lecture, and that's the essential message of this whole entire script that I've written out here. It's that in order to love yourself, you have to know yourself. So the journey of loving yourself when you currently don't is literally the journey of discovering and learning about who you are. Once you know who you are, once you've discovered who you are, and have learned about who you are, it's really easy to love yourself, because you see yourself for who you are, and you like yourself because you know where you are and who you are and in relation to others. So it's really the process of not knowing yourself that you have to figure out how to learn and how to love, you have to learn about who you are. Because when you know who you are and you've learned about who you are and you've discovered it, it's super easy to love yourself. You see you're weak, you see you're a human, you see you've made mistakes, and that's fine. You're not supposed to be perfect. So you get the idea. Let's continue reading, and we'll hit on all the little psychological points in my mind. So when you are aware of who you are, you will see that you have flaws. You will also see you have strengths. And when you take it a step further, you will realize that you have always been doing your best. And boy, is this a sign of relief, because we might not even realize sometimes that we've been doing our best. We've been trying so hard. And even if that's not enough, then at least you can feel sorry for yourself and you know, like, I don't know, be cool with yourself and have a sign of relief, like, I did my best, you know. So you will learn you are not all-powerful and not all-knowing. You will learn to do things such as feel sorry for yourself, accept your mistakes, and most of all, accept yourself for who you have become. Truly accepting yourself for who you are now comes with such a relieving and peaceful emotional reaction that you can just feel yourself submitting to the truth that it's okay that you were imperfect acting, you know? Then your heart opens up to itself and you basically hug your own soul. So it's okay that you had imperfect actions. The emotional response that will come with an emotional and relieving and peaceful sensation that you will feel when you are truly aware of who you are and you're submitting to the truth that you were imperfect and you know who you are, is going to be so pleasant and so high that you will truly feel good about yourself. And that's when you love yourself, is when you are making yourself feel good. Then your heart opens up to itself and you basically hug your own soul, thereby loving yourself. So I said your heart opens up to itself and you basically hug your own soul, thereby loving yourself. Now you see why loving yourself is preceded by knowing yourself. So I said, now you see why loving yourself is preceded by knowing yourself. But that's not all that knowing yourself consists of. It also consists of knowing, and this is the second half of knowing yourself, it consists in knowing where you stand in relation to others. How have they affected you? How are you affecting them? This is the big one. This is actually, unfortunately, what many people commit suicide over. This is what people feel so depressed and self-harm over. And the truth about it is that those who do this simply don't know themselves. They are confused about who they are and where they are in relation to others. And sometimes it's because they haven't loved themselves, so they feel so depressed when seeing themselves in relation to others. For some, it will be simply accepting that you aren't the center of the world that will relieve them. But for others, it might be a change of lifestyle and loving oneself that will help them. There's two types of people. One of them will just need to realize, hey, I'm not the center of the world. I'm not supposed to be the holy grail of everything. And for others, it'll be a whole change of lifestyle that they need to do and start loving themselves in order to feel good and not depressed or anything like that. But really understanding who one is internally and in relation to those around them is the key to the world of self-love. Who are you internally and where do you stand in relation to you? How am I compared to you? Am I worse than you? Am I better than you? So, understanding who you are internally and in relation to those around you is the key to the world of self-love. For many, you will find that it's very easy to accept yourself for who you are, thereby loving yourself, when you discover who it is you really are. So in conclusion, here is my message to you, and here I just wrap it up with 2 sentences or so. Loving yourself is only possible through knowing yourself, and accepting yourself is self-love. So when you're loving yourself, you're just accepting who you are. And who you are, obviously that includes where you stand in relation to others. And the second half of that was, the hardest part is not accepting yourself, though. The hard part is learning about who you are. People think that it's hard to accept yourself. No, it's not hard to accept yourself. It's hard to know about yourself and learn about yourself. Accepting yourself is easy once you realize, like I said earlier, there's flaws you have, there's good sides to you, there is an understanding of who you really are, that you're not the center of the world for some, that you can start loving yourself for others. You will feel sorry for yourself and that will make you feel good about yourself. So there's a big epidemic across the planet for people everywhere, not just in any part of the world, but I think all across the world, people are, there's a big epidemic that people don't understand that who they are. They are extremely lost. They can't even bring themselves to feel sorry for themselves or relieve themselves from their pain because they're disconnected from who they are. If they knew themselves, it would be easy to love themselves. That's all for this video. I'm going to be titling this video, Loving Yourself is Only Possible Through Loving Yourself.